What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bios3 Story Time. We haven't had a story time in a little while. It's October, Halloween. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. Christmas and Halloween, they're close because I really like Halloween. Ever since I was a kid, I like scary shit, spooky stuff. Horror movies has always been a big thing of mine ever since I was a young, 10, 11 years old, Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and stuff like that. And I figured story time for this month could be a little scary time story. So without further ado, let me disclaim this. This story is 100% true and accurate, to the point where I've told it to people in the past. And when, for instance, my ex-girlfriend, when she first met my friend Henry, I said, Henry, tell her about, the time at Michelle's house. And he told the whole story while he was there with his wife. And his wife was like, I've heard this story over and over again. And, my ex, Angelica, at the time was like, holy shit, he just told it exactly the way Jerry told it. This is a true story. They're not bullshitting. So without further ado, true story, here we go. Growing up in Warren, we had a small town. There was about 6 or 7 of us. Me, Henry, Brian, Trisha, Jenny Fulton, Sandy Leocardio, Michelle Pino. And Michelle lived in a house that she perceived as being haunted. Okay, and she told us stories and stuff. One of the stories she told us was when you walked in from her garage, you walked in like their living room area. It went up a thing of stairs to the kitchen and up another thing of stairs to the bedroom. Her mother's bedroom was across from hers. And she said she was upstairs changing in her room, walked by and saw her mother sitting on the bed. Now, she didn't notice her on the way by when she went into the room when she got home from school, but she was sitting on the bed, and she said her mom's room was always very cold. She walked in, talked to her mom. Her mom looked very sad. Her mom looked up at her, said she touched her on the shoulder. Said, what's wrong? And her mom just kind of shook her head. And, her and her mom had a relationship where they were close, but, if she didn't want to talk, whatever. So she said, I'll leave you alone. She walks out, goes back downstairs, starts watching TV. And a few minutes later, her mom comes in from the garage. And she was like, what the fuck? Like, Ma, you were just upstairs. She goes, I just got home. Blew her mind because she actually physically touched something or someone that looked like her mom. Doppelganger is what they actually call it. But so she tells us these stories all the time about her house. So we go to her house, and inside the wood grain on her door of her closet are faces. Like random faces in the wood grain. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. And they would change. How the fuck does a wood grain in the door change? It would, because we circle them with Sharpies, and the face wouldn't be there the next day. Another weird face would be kind of over here, and the Sharpie would still be there from the night before we circled it. Very strange stuff. So now, what do we do as teenagers? Yeah, we're fucking retarded. So what do we do is get a Ouija board. Not a Ouija board from like, what's the matter, bro? This story scaring you? Okay, I know. Not a Ouija board from like Parker Brothers or the store. I one from Salem, Massachusetts that's carved out of wood. A legit Ouija board. We take this thing and we go downstairs in her basement, right? All of us, we light a candle, we sit down on the floor in the basement, and we start to try to use this thing. Now, Henry and Jenny are the ones that have their hands on it. And they start to ask questions. Now, as the thing starts to move, Jenny looks at Henry and says, stop pushing it. And he just kind of smiles and goes, yeah, right, because he thinks she's pushing it. What's the matter? Yeah, cut it up. So, as they're pushing this thing around, they say, who are we talking to? It spells out devil. So now we're all pretty sure that they're fucking around. Devil. As this thing's moving around, the only other word it spells out is die. Devil and die. Now there's one candle lit. We're all huddled around. And as we're huddled around looking at this board, Henry and Jenny are sitting down. We're kind of huddled up standing around them. Michelle, who's on the end, looks to her side and goes like this. As she does that, we all turn to look. There's a big black mass that looks like a person standing there. Okay, whatever it was had touched her. As she freaked out, this thing, I can't say ran, it floated. Like, again, look, I have like goosebumps. I don't know if you can see them on there, just thinking about this. This thing moved so fast towards where the wall was, and it kind of disappeared into the corner of the room. It was the most bizarre thing, and the fact that all of us saw it, not just Michelle, and reacted to it, was what really solidified that something really just happened. Then the fucking candle went out. How random is that, right? Okay, so you got a freaky mass next to you, and then the candle goes out like that. Now we all jump on top of each other. We're freaking out. So Michelle has to run over and get the light. She turns the light on. We're all like laying on top of each other. Meanwhile, the Ouija board thing, the indicator has flipped over. There's like a pin in it, sticking in Henry's hand. So his hand is stabbed with the thing. And now all of us just kind of step back and kind of look at each other like, what did you see? Michelle, there was something touched me. It would like bumped against me. And when I looked at it, it was like 6'5", this big black, like, it was completely, like, it blocked light behind it. It was just there. It was like a big cardboard cutout that had, like, weight to it that bumped into her that was black. And then the fact that it vanished, I mean, at that point, we were all freaked out pretty much. And then, you know, devil, I mean, let's face facts. At the time, I wasn't religious, and I'm not a real religious guy now, but, you know, you see something like that, and you see the word devil spelled, you start to question, fuck, did I just see the devil? Is that what it was? Like, die. What does die mean? We're all going to die? Who's going to die? Is somebody going to die? What the fuck? So now, we leave the house. And I don't think any of us actually ever went back there again. And this was, a week went by. And we were all so freaked out that none of us were really talking about it. Like, it was almost like a movie. Like, you know, those horror movies where the kids go to school the next day and they're all like, haven't slept and they're all fucked up walking around school because they're not sure of what they saw and their brain is rattled. And, you know, I remember going with my cousin and Henry, I think Lisa Medeiros, and we got holy water from the church. We went these little things that got holy water so we could, like, bless our beds and stuff so nothing could get us in the beds. And we slept with crucifixes. I mean, it was so bizarre and freaky of what really actually happened. The fact that all of us saw it and had the same experience, and it actually touched Michelle. And then the candle went out. There was too much stuff that went on to say it was just a coincidence. Okay? Now, fast forward, I don't know how many years it was. This is the only thing that, and I'm making the jump myself to put this together. There's no fact or proof or whatever. There was a club called The Station in Rhode Island, and the band Great White came there. It made national news. Great White wanted to use its pyrotechnics. They said no because of the old soundproofing materials. Great White, the band, used their pyrotechnics, set the place on fire. The place burnt to the ground, and something like 1,000 people died in the fire in Rhode Island because of the band Great White. Our friend Sandy Leocardio was one of the people in there that died. Now, she's the only one of us, knock on wood so far, who has passed away, tragically, at a young age. The only thing I could think of, maybe whatever that was trying to warn us that one of us was going to die. You know, it was freaky. To this day, it still freaks me out. And to this day, if we speak of it, you can see it in each one of our faces when we talk about it together that nobody knows what the fuck it is. And we're, you know, brought up as kids, you know, ghosts are not real. The Wolfman's not real. Vampires are not real. But whatever the fuck was standing there was 100% real. We all saw it, and it's a fact. It was there. So, you know, take it for what it is. When I watch these ghost hunters, I've always been, you know, since then, really interested in these ghost hunter shows. I went to a ghost hunting, it was like a class, kind of, with Carrie last year, where they explained to us the different tools that they use and how they hunt ghosts and different experiences and stuff. And I actually went to the two guys that hunt ghosts and said, look, I'll carry your fucking equipment for you. I'll do whatever you guys want. You just call me and tell me where to be and when to be there, and I'll be there. They haven't called yet because they're like, you know what, everybody says that, but nobody shows up. If you guys see this, call me, I'll go. So that's our story time for today. Freaky shit that happened when I was 16 years old, and to this day affects me and probably everybody else too. Bios3training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. www.bios3training.com is the blog, and we're the Halloween Bicep. We're out.